This is the story of the nicest 6th grade teacher, Miss Ninninger.
She was the most loving teacher I have ever had. The memories she left in my life formed me a clear image of what an ideal teacher should be like.
On the first day of middle school, I could not open my locker.
The buses were about to leave. I did not know what to do. I wanted to cry. I went back to the classroom to see if there was any teacher that could help me. I looked everywhere to see if there was someone who could help me. I found one.
Miss Ninninger!
In extreme exhaustion, I exclaimed,
Miss Ninninger, can you help me open my locker?
"Of course," she said, with a kind and gentle voice. I was soothed by her sweet words. She went up to my locker and showed me how to open it. As tears kept streaming along my face, she told me, "Don't worry, not worry. Soon, in the future, you will be able to open your locker just like anyone else." And she taught me how to open my locker. She was always available to help any student, especially when we needed it the most. There were sometimes students who did not behave well, but she had a certain charisma that I never saw in a teacher before. When a student misbehaved, she was firm, kind, and serious. Grace flowed out of her as she gave her tender, concerned look. Her classroom worksheets and assignments may have seemed plain, but the love she gave into teaching brought everything to life.
Every day I was anticipating to be in her class so I could exclaim, "Good afternoon, Miss Ninninger!"
With a deep and welcoming smile, as if it were sweet music, she would respond,
"Good afternoon, Fatima."
She always received old students with joy and new ones with a friendly smile. Her presence will illuminate the classroom and overcome regardless of how plain and boring anything in her class would be.
The first thing we would do in her class would be a warm-up. Her gentle, reassuring smile always communicated the love to want to be in her class.
Afterwards, she would make us do work in her class. In various occasions, she changed the usual routine to make something different, ranging from projects, simple worksheets, Kahoots, and going outside. Her class seemed fun. She was always firm against lazy students and rewarding to good students. One occasion, I struggled on the work she assigned for us to complete. I think she stayed after school, but she also came before school to help students on assignments. I was happy until I tried to go to her classroom and I heard her talking to someone. She was giving advice to a cheerleader. I was discouraged. I was outside doubting whether I should enter into her class. But then she noticed that someone was outside and she asked me, "Why did you not go inside?" I told her it was because I was shy, and she kindly smiled. "I do not mind. You could have come inside." Her words were like a warm blanket against a little cold and frozen person like me. On Valentine's Day, I had a small gift I wanted to give to my teacher. I went into her classroom to see that her desk was filled with chocolate hearts from so many other students. I became sad. Would she accept such a tiny and small gift from me? But indeed she did. She received my gift with such love and inexpressible goodness that filled my heart with joy to know that my teacher would receive such a small gift. When the school year was finished, I wanted to say a final goodbye to her. A student, out of pride, said,
"Who is your favorite student, Miss Ninninger?"
"Am I your favorite student?" I became nervous. I had a close connection to the teacher, and I felt like that answer would make me sad. But out of the bottom of her heart, with great love, she exclaimed, "All of you are my favorite students." I was so happy. I felt included. I felt loved.
Miss Manager had such a big impact in my life. She renewed my desire to become a teacher like her. Ever since then, I knew I've always wanted to become a K-6 teacher.
I wanted to have a classroom full of students so that I could help them become such good and great people for our society and future. She is what planted the seed of kindness in my heart. She was one of the reasons behind my drive to what I wanted to become.
She did many things any other teacher would do, but she would do it with such noticeable sweetness. Only the all boys were allowed to go outside during pad time because of the same gender program at Woodbridge Middle School. But she asked for special permission to take us outside. And it was such a privilege for us as 6th graders to go outside, because usually 6th graders don't go for recess in here in middle school in Prince William County. One time, a girl lost her phone in Miss Nandra's class and called the administrator to help. And the teacher called the administrator to help find her phone. And Miss Nandra seemed really concerned. The girl kept asking questions until she found the phone in her locker. When other teachers put scary movies at the end of the year, she put a fun movie. When she taught assignments, it seemed like she was teaching 1st grade math. When the class was hard and I got C's on my assignments for her class, she stayed before school, during lunch, and after school to help with schoolwork and retakes. She made class seem very fun. Even when we were learning the most boring topics ever, I could tell by her voice she was really passionate about teaching. She was my role model in eating healthy. While me and many other students were eating hamburgers and pizza, she was eating a salad brought from home. I had many other teachers yell at us, but she never yelled at us. Not only that, but when the class misbehaved, she was just firm, but she never lost the niceness in her voice. Every time I got 100%, she would put the 2 zeros as eyes and a smiley face, or a good job with an exclamation point. Well, the principal put a rule that all teachers had to be in the front door before and after class started. Many teachers neglected this job and got yelled at by the principal. But my teacher, Miss Ninja, did her job. And in doing so, she was the first teacher who was available to attend at my minor emergency of not being able to open my locker. She always had candy for the 3 winners of Kahoot. A student once asked her for candy. She said, "You can't eat a lot of candy, it's not healthy for you." But the same student was insisting in such a nice way, she gave it to the student. Once another student on another day thought that the class was really smelly and it smelled really bad. And the student asked for Febreze. To everyone's surprise, she had some. I could never notice if she had a bad day because she always brought out the light of every situation. I thought that only I noticed the niceness of this teacher. But in the last day of school, a group of 5 students had gathered crying around her, saying that they would miss her. I would visit her classroom the next school year and she was still joyous to see me. My dream is to become a teacher like her.